Hello and welcome along to episode 158 of the Don McHaley sponsored A View from Section C. Senior, the summer sessions are over. We are now into pre-season. We've got our very special SNL pre-season this week, and we'll be looking at Elite League next week. But Senior, first and foremost, how are you? How's your week been since we spoke to Captain Fantastic last week?
Yeah, it's been good. Not done much. Not done a thing.
Other than walking out of Tannadice.
Don't get me started about that. Yeah. The least said about United and Celtic, the better. But hey, well, it's what happens there. But as soon as we're finished here, as you know, I'm straight through to Stirling. They're going to see a consultant. Right after this show, right through to Stirling to see a consultant about the other knee now, and we'll see what happens from there.
For your major surgery again, but
could well be the bionic man.
The bionic man, indeed. Well, Senior, we do have a special guest today, so we are obviously cautious of time for our guest, cautious of time for yourself, to get through to Stirling for your consultation. But as we said, it is a Dundee Rockets pre-season episode, and we've spoken to last season. We had Jack Henderson and Dennis Consus on the show. We had coach, the legend that is Mr. Jeff Hutchins last season. We had new signing Craig Garrigan on in the summer. But now we've got another Dundee Rocket on the show. And this one, Rockets fans will know a bit about him, but not too much, because they were probably sitting shouting abuse at him last season for quite a bit. But we do have a new Rocket signing on the show. 8 seasons with his previous club of the Whitley Warriors. And Senior, in the NIHL one, it's not too shabby at all. Over 200 games and nearly 450 points in that time.
That's
not bad.
That is not too shabby, Junior. That is a rapid rate of points.
Yeah, averaging over 2 points a game. And let's hope that we can get that for the Rockets next season.
100%.
But without further ado, let's introduce our special guest. It is none other than Philip Edgar. Phil, welcome to the show.
Hello, Junior. Thank you. Appreciate the invite. How are we?
Yeah, we're
How's
good.
yourself?
We're good, Phil. Yeah.
Good to hear. I couldn't help but hear that intro and hang on to it.
We thought you'd like that.
Yeah. Did I send you that exactly to say? I can't remember.
And as I say, I hope it wasn't too bad. Rockets fans last season chirping you from it may have been me chirping a little bit from behind the away bench. But yeah, it was welcome along and welcome to the Dundee Rockets for next season.
Thank you.
We have to start off by saying that you will have a better changing room playing for the Rockets. You won't be getting changed in the female toilets like at playoffs, and the whole thing that kicked off on social media about that from the Whitley fans. They were not best pleased about that. So that's the reason you guys lost. Welcome to the Rockets. We caught up just before the show started. You are still down in Newcastle currently, and obviously travelling up for training and stuff like that. But before we get into Rockets talk, let's have a little look back at your time, obviously, with Whitley. You were born in Kitchener. Fun fact here that, Senior, I don't even know if you know this. My wife's stepdad was born in Kitchener as well. Moved over here when he was like 2 years old or something. But yeah, he was born in Kitchener. So he's a big Rangers fan. He's also a big Rangers fan of the football, but we won't talk about that too much either. But yeah, you played all your junior hockey in Canada, but moved over to Whitley in 2017. How did that move come about coming into Whitley?
Sure. Well, just for the record, you can tell your mate there that the rink where the Rangers plays is called the Auditorium, and I played Junior B for a team called the Kitchener Dutchmen, and so we Used to play in that rink all the time. That was our home rink, and
nice.
Yeah, the Rangers used to use us as pretty much back play. We get called up and have to penalty kill for them a lot. So it was a bit of a struggle. But to answer your question, how did it come aboard? For me and a lot of guys that I played with in Canada, sort of a goal or a dream when you're in juniors is to play in Europe somewhere, like whatever, Sweden, Germany, England, wherever it is. And for me, both my parents are from the Newcastle area. And so I have the British passport, which made it, it was supposed to make it easier to play in England. Turns out it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
But my cousin David Edgar knew David Longstaff through some avenue. And so after my university days, I just came over for 1 year on a trial basis to play for Whitley. And it was unbelievable. Like just they welcomed me with open arms. The fan base is, as long as you're a Warrior, the fan base is incredible.
Yeah.
Right. We packed that barn this year more than ever I've seen, like games against Dundee and Edinburgh, even the Christmas special against Billingham, it was packed. So that was awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much how it ended up. I just wanted to play in England. I've got family here, and that transition was pretty easy. But yeah. There.
Yeah. And senior, I'll know that name very well. David Longstaff. He was always a thorn in the side of the Dundee Stars when the Stars played the Newcastle Vipers. Always a thorn in the side. And then obviously he was coach at Whitley for a bit as well. But yeah, Lobby was a character on the ice, shall we say?
I think
you liked him.
Yeah, well, I really liked him. I think people got surprised when you spoke about David Longstaff. I don't think people realise how big a man he is, and because he is a big fella, and he could handle himself, and he just plays the game right. He plays a full 200 feet. He could defend, but he could put points up for fun if he wanted to. And when he played against Dundee, he was a thorn in our side at times. He wouldn't be in the game, and then suddenly you would be behind, and you're looking. It was Longstaff goal, assist Longstaff, assist Longstaff goal, Longstaff, and all of a sudden it was like, you've lost the game because Lobby decided to turn up.
Yeah, for sure. It was awesome playing. I played with him for maybe 2 or 3 seasons before he turned to just coaching. So it was obviously later in his career. But yeah, I just remember he's got the good hockey IQ, vision, great passer. But eventually he just was too big to get the puck off. I just remember him, using his size and guarding and using his body to protect the puck, and guys just couldn't get anywhere near him. So it was awesome. He was more of a 100-foot player when I played with him, though. I don't know about 200-foot.
I think the age was maybe catching up at that point.
Yeah, maybe at that point.
Yeah. You can tell him
I'll let the young guys do the defending. I'll just stand up here. Yeah. and that's it. And it falls into, and I'm going to go well ahead now, because it probably falls into the other coach, Tony Hand, because Tony did the same. He just stood with that stick up. Here I am.
Yeah.
So we could see where David got it from.
Sure. Yeah, but both legends, obviously, in the UK, in Scotland.
Yeah. You mentioned Kitchener, but also you were part of an Ottawa team, which I always like to hear, being a big Sens fan myself. So I like to see that when there's an Ottawa tie in there somewhere, I just like to bring it up, just because obviously we don't get to mention a lot of Ottawa and things because we're not very good. So. But obviously out with Whitley, you spent just a little bit of time with Leeds, a couple of Leeds. I know obviously you were back in Canada in the OEHL as well, but kind of always come back to Whitley. What was it about the Warriors that kind of just drew you back there?
Yeah, I mean, a few things. As you and most people listening probably know, you meet a girl and all of a sudden you're in an area and you can't seem to get away. So that was like, massive. But I went to Leeds very short. That was actually not successful at all. I blew my knee out in like the third period of the first game, and so that whole season was pretty much a write-off. And then didn't go back ever really. I moved back home to Canada full time and played for this team in Tavistock, which was a whole nother brilliant bit of hockey, like true Canadian farm boys and stuff like that. It's pretty violent actually. It's far more violent than the SNL. And so, but that was brilliant. Really, really, really good hockey. But I don't know, something about Whitley Bay. Like I've got my missus, my jobs in this area, and the defining factor. I think I scored a goal or two in Tavistock in Canada, and there was like 7 people in the stands or something. Yeah. And I just thought, if I've got a few good years left, there's no point in playing and scoring in front of 5 or 6 people, some parents or whatever, when I could score in front of the Whitley Bay fans and try and entertain and have that atmosphere, because it was very quiet back in the Canadian, league that was there. So I'd say that was probably the biggest thing, Junior, if I had to, my missus, obviously, make sure she's not listening. But the atmosphere in Whitley Bay is electric.
Yeah. It's you're absolutely right, because we've been down with the Stars over the years at Whitley. Newcastle played there. We've been down there with the Stars when they were SNL, and we played against Whitley. The Vipers were there, etc. And it's a difficult rink for away teams. I will say that.
Yeah.
The whole sort of setup of the rink, it's just like going back in time.
Yeah.
For a player playing for Whitley, what is it like?
Yeah. You've seen the ice, right? So it probably takes a few games, to even control the puck with, like, as an away player. Like, it's difficult. Yeah. It's smaller. It's the crowd feels like they're on top of you a lot more. But even just the entrance to the rink, right? You've got the fans above you. They're all stomping on the stairs. They all can go into the alleyway when you're walking into the change rooms. Maybe not anymore.
Well,
yeah. So that might not be the case for much longer. But you feel famous. Like it's such a small community. Probably at the wider scale, not many people are paying attention to the Warriors, but in Whitley Bay, you feel famous, and people recognize you around and come to the games and spend their money, and they want to watch you every Sunday, and they do come. So it's just it's a unique little area with significant base, and so playing in front of the most fans and the best fans and the loudest is always fun. So I'd say that just kind of continues to bring me back if I ever do. Straight away.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, last season, as you say, it saw Whitley join the SNL from NIHL 1. What was the difference for you as a player? How much did you actually join group against the Scottish teams rather than the English ones? What was the kind of the caliber difference?
Great question. I think it's probably the same in every league, but like the bottom 2 or 3 teams would give each other a good go. Mm-hmm. But Whitley and Edinburgh and Paisley and Dundee and whoever, we all would probably beat those teams quite similarly. Even the middle of the pack, though, was a lot stronger in the SNL. Like we took Paisley to overtime twice in their rink and just barely won. Kirkcaldy beat us away. So that was difficult. The top, Edinburgh, Dundee would give the top South teams a good go, I reckon. I mean, Edinburgh's gone and won a few times against Blackburn and stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So the top 2 teams, even 3, were like very, very, very competitive. And I think that's the same in both leagues. I found it harder to score in the SNL this year than I had, in the NIHL. So a little bit more defensively minded, perhaps. But we knew it was going to be tough. I think we had a good season, and we're happy with where we ended up and how we performed. Definitely.
Good. Yeah.
Because we spoke about it, didn't we, Junior, when we used to do the Rockets talk, when we were doing the star stuff. I always fancied Whitley to actually win it from the beginning, just because of who you'd played against previously compared to what, maybe Dundee and Edinburgh were always going to challenge. We always felt that the Rockets would beat probably everybody else. Edinburgh could beat everybody else. But then you've got this unknown factor of the Whitley Warriors coming in, who've got a good fan base. They've got a really good team. They've got a guy called Phil Edgar who could put the puck in the net. And the travel.
Yeah.
The Scottish teams wouldn't be really used to a lot of travel, certainly not going down as far as that. So I must admit, early doors, I put my hat on Whitley to actually win it. And even as the season went, I thought it's going to be between these three teams. And then, as you say, you begin to lose a couple of silly games, and then then the Rockets lose silly games, and then eventually the Caps are away with it.
That's it. Well, I just looked before. Like Dundee finished second by 1 win, right? That's all. That's all it was. Yeah. Which is a silly. It's a silly road loss, most likely.
Yeah.
But going back to the Warriors, like we knew it was going to be a challenge, and we did have a really, really solid team. And, we beat Edinburgh at home. We beat Dundee at home. We took Dundee to OT and then lost, right? So one of those games that can go any way. The Warriors' problem, and it always will be, is the traveling element. You take half a team up to Dundee or Edinburgh, and you're going to get beat, 6-2. So like Dundee peppered us on the road at least once. Same with Edinburgh, perhaps. So that's always the Warriors fans. I think it's probably every team's trouble, but the Warriors team in particular doesn't travel too well, especially not with the full team. But I think this year is probably going to be the same. Any one of the top 4 teams, if they travel well and they bring their entire team, it's going to be close.
Yeah,
no, for sure. But yeah, you are now a Dundee Rocket.
I am. That's right. Moving on.
8 seasons with Whitley. Why now? Why change now?
It wasn't my choice. Tony basically had decided and gave me a call that he wanted to change things up with Whitley and bring in a new import, basically. You probably already know about him. His name's Ian. From Billingham, and he's good. He's a Canadian kid, and he's 24 years old. I'm 33, so traded in for a newer model. It happens all the time, I imagine. But yeah, that was a situation. He called me and just let me know, and I didn't really have any choice about it.
Yeah. Okay. How did the move to the Rockets come about?
Extremely seamless, to be fair. I was lucky enough. I probably would have got in touch with Jeff anyways somehow, but Ethan Reed, who I've been playing with at the Warriors, just recently joined Dundee. And so I was actually golfing with my uncle. Tony called me, let me know. My very next text was to Ethan. And I said, mate, like, give me Jeff's number as soon as you can. Like, I'm looking for a team. And it was already halfway through the summer, so I didn't have much time to make things move. I was probably lucky that another import hadn't signed already, because it was halfway through the summer, more or less. But anyways, just gave Jeff a call, let him know, and it was done within like a week. Things were agreed, and I'm thrilled. Like, honestly, obviously the drive is long and it's a big change for me, but I was up there last week training, and I'm going to be there Wednesday and Thursday this week. And, I think Dundee could win the league this year without me. So the fact that I can add some value
For sure.
where I can, that I'm just excited. Like that, they won the playoffs last year. They were one win away from the league. They lost to Edinburgh in overtime for the cup, I think, and probably would have beat us, in the cup final. So our ambition right away is clear from our practice, and Jeff's mindset that we want to win all 3 trophies this year. And I think we've got a good team, really good team. We've got obviously there was 4 guys in the top 10 from Dundee last year in points, and then we've got that, I think it's Kerrigan from the elite leagues come down.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is going to be keeping up with him because he's rapid. I watched him on last Wednesday. Jesus, he was going. Yeah. We were leaving a breakout, and he was already behind the net, and I was trying to catch up. So, but I'm excited. Yeah, so it was seamless.
That's good. Yeah, and as you say, like you're saying that Whitley have traded in for a younger model, but you've probably met the legend of the Rockets already, John Dolan.
I do. Yeah, I was sitting beside him at practice.
Exactly, and age is just a number. When you watch John, it's just a number.
Sure.
And I think a lot of fans will now be excited that they've got John Dolan, they've got Dennis Consus, and they've now got Phil Edgar.
Yeah.
That's 3 guys that teams are going to have to watch.
Yeah. Well, my brother was asking me, about the season and how do we look and stuff like that. And I was trying to think of what to say. And I just said, well, put it this way. His name's Paul. I said, put it this way, Paul, I'm on the second line. So whatever that means to you, that means what it means to you. But it's good.
Strength and depth. That's what it means.
So,
no, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But obviously JD has got a bit of a reputation for his accent. So the first and main question is, did you understand him when he was speaking to you?
It's funny you say that. So I've got a pretty good ear for it anyways, just living in England for so long. Some of the people around Whitley Bay, some of my teammates hardly speak English with their accents. But my parents are both, my dad's broad Geordie, but there's a few guys that were speaking that it was tough to understand. So I slow down and speak to me like I'm a 5-year-old for a bit. But it's a strong accent for a lot of the guys. But I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Shoot, skate, back check.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Tap the stick. Hey. That's it.
Yeah. So no, a good group of guys. They've all been very welcoming. A couple of guys have just been chatting to me, making sure I'm all set. Rob has been unreal for just helping me without equipment. Jeff's been great. Chris is another guy that I met. Dennis has been talking to me all summer. He talks to everybody, it sounds like, but he seems really sad. He's been messaging me right pretty much the day I signed. We've been talking over Instagram and just chatting or whatever. But he's unreal too. He's good. He's keen. So
and I think, as you say, you've got Ethan from Whitley.
Yeah.
So that'll probably help you settle in a bit as well.
Yeah, it's just nice to see a familiar face, and I sat beside him in the change room at practice, so we were able to just talk a little bit. But just being one of the older guys on the team now, it's not as nerve-wracking as when you're younger. Having a bunch of guys older than you now, I sort of just can speak to guys that are my age or a bit younger or whatever. So I feel pretty comfortable already, and like I said, going down Tuesday night for another 2 practices. So just trying to build up.
Yeah, definitely. Good. So this is the Rockets roster for this season. 2 leavers, obviously Ewan Simpson moving on, and obviously Cam McGiffin retiring. New signings: Craig Garrigan from the Stars, already alluded to it. Phil himself from the Warriors. Same with Ethan Reed. Ross Connolly from Telford. Sheepdog is back in Dundee. Craig Holland from the Kestrels, and then also two ways from the Stars under 19s of Angus Tishaw, the netminder, and one of our own from Section C, Lee Thompson, finalising the roster. You see, it's a very deep roster this year. Phil, you've hopefully not giving too much away, but second line for yourself. But you've obviously got in here seniors' favourite, the sniper, Sean Beattie, Dennis, Craig, JD, Mikey Ireland's still in there. There's a lot of guys who can put up a lot of points across the roster, and then strengthening the defensive unit massively as well.
Yeah.
You've got your preseason coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, both at Murrayfield. I'm raging that both games are in Murrayfield.
Yeah.
I would have managed to get back. I'm in Aberdeen for basketball, and I would have managed to get back if it was at Dundee for one of them. But 2 games against the Edinburgh Capitals for preseason. What's your thoughts for preseason? Is that we want to go out there and we want to beat them because it's Edinburgh, because we all kind of sit here and think, fuck Edinburgh, because they were the top guys last year at times. But is it more you're wanting to get settled in, embedded, get used to the systems?
Yeah.
A win's great. A loss, we can deal with it. It's preseason.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, just kind of talking about if there are any Rockets guys listening, I don't know that they will be, but I absolutely have to earn my place, by the way. I was just joking a little bit about like the second line stuff, but I have to earn my place. That was just something I told my brother.
Hutchins is just takes Phil.
But don't want the guys to hate me already. But no, first of all, nothing's guaranteed. You are right. Our team is extremely deep. Like I said, I was just saying that to my brother, but I need to earn my place. And that's the plan, obviously. But good question about the preseason. We haven't necessarily talked about it. I'm sure we will this week. Mm-hmm. I think in any case, you want to win, set the tone for the season. I hope it's not going to be that physical, because I'm older now and don't fancy crashing and banging in preseason at all. But I will if I have to. For me personally, it's about getting comfortable with the team, getting comfortable, in the new equipment and all that, getting a handle on the puck, making plays, getting to know the guys a little bit, where they're moving around, and for me, once again, it's about moving into the beginning of the season on feeling, hopefully mid-season form. No matter what you do, it's hard to get mid-season form in the legs, but I think we can use this as a workout opportunity. I think we can use it as a gelling, a few games to gel. Obviously want to win and perform, and I don't think there's any game where we won't do that, regardless of a friendly. But in particular, looking to get the legs going, looking to loosen up, make a few plays, get the hands, going, some scoring opportunities, stuff like that. But always looking to win, I reckon.
Yeah. And like you say, we talk about it being kind of deep in points and stuff. We've got a wee bit more, shall we call you experience now, as you say, as the age is going on. But we've got more experience with the Rockets, but you've got these young guys as well, and Jack Henderson, gives 110% every game. Then you've got probably one of Senior and I's favourites in Rio Page as well. And still young guys that are going to be playing for years. So, how is it for you, that you've been training already, looking at some of these guys, and, we've joked about that second line.
Sure.
How do you feel yourself fitting in already with those younger players that are, you spoke about Garrigan just absolutely speeding it down the ice, but how do you feel you're settling in with some of them already?
I feel so. I took this summer quite seriously in terms of trying to stay fit and working out more than I have in the last few years, because I knew about the team. Like I've seen Rio. He's like lightning. Dennis, top import in the league, right? So I can't come in and be miles behind him. So, he's a young guy as well, trying to keep up with him. If I'm fit and skating well, I feel extremely confident to be in the top 5 in the league or whatever. Having the forwards on Dundee to play with, I think is only going to elevate my game massively. Mm-hmm. For the past 8 years, I've been playing with Dean Holland and then some other winger. Dean Holland is an unbelievable player.
Yeah.
He always knows where to be. He makes playing hockey easy. We scored and had a lot of points together. But now, let's just say I'm playing with Rio or Kerrigan or, John or Sean or, these are just sort of the bigger names. Like, I just named, obviously not Dennis because he's the import, but I just named 4 or 5 guys who were like top 10 in scoring last year. Right.
Yeah.
And, put me in with any one of them or some guys that I'm not even mentioning. Right. That's how deep we are.
Mm-hmm.
I expect to well outperform last year on this team.
And you see it, that you can see that the Rockets it's just strength every year with these guys, and especially guys like Rio. Rio was on a 2-way with the Stars last season for a bit, and you can see that in his game from the training and stuff he was doing, and even although we were very critical of this. The Stars coach for his very much lack of ice time when there's games he could have been getting ice time.
Yeah.
You can see that Rio, through training, through the experience, and even in warm-ups and playing with these guys, that his IQ is going higher and higher every time. So, absolutely. That the forwards roster is going to be great this year.
Yeah. Training. So I know like Dennis and Rio and a few other guys, I know Dennis anyways was training during the summer with them. And even Rio last year, if you trained with them and went to games and stuff like that, you just pick up things from watching, and even just the intensity and the speed level at the Elite League. Like if you just treat our games of that intensity, of that speed, you will be absolutely flying. And like Rio, he had a great season last year. I expect him to increase on that. But the thing obviously the forwards are impressive, and I'm getting to know everybody still. But the most frustrating thing to play when we played against Dundee, particularly in your rink, as a forward with that big ice, is you're pressuring, and the D are just going D to D, moving it around, and before you know it, the puck's gone past you, and there's 3 forwards seamlessly breaking out, having 3 on. So I can't, we were a bit choppier for the most part. I can't wait to just break out seamlessly with our D core, and I don't get too excited, but I just have to assume it's just going to be 3-on-2s and 3-on-1s and 2-on-1s.
Yeah,
often, which I love.
And again, that'll come through. Especially last season with the Rockets. You had guys like Cam McGiffin played Stars Elite League. Sam McCluskey played Stars Elite League. So these guys have been doing that at a higher level.
Yeah.
Then they've came back to SNL. And they're still using that knowledge there for themselves, but also to help the other D-men, And as you say, Phil, it becomes seamless every time.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, it's a really, really good team. So sky's the limit.
Yeah. So with that, obviously, you've spoke about the aim is, and we had the same conversation. I actually missed out. Andy Henderson was on as well at one point. Andy said it. They're going for the treble. Jeff always says it. They go for the treble. You've said it this season. We're going for the treble. Here are fixtures for everyone. Obviously, the big ones in the calendar straight away. Aberdeen, second game of the season. Big game. They're going to want to come out after a bit of a poor season last season that they'll feel. They'll want to come out hard. But looking at that, 4th game of the season, your second home game against Whitley straight away. Following game by Edinburgh on the road, Aberdeen. You come in, you look at it throughout the season, you've got kind of the back-to-back, Kirkcaldy and Whitley. Then you've got Whitley at home again. But then you finish the season, the last 2 weekends, with Edinburgh and Paisley. there doesn't look like an easy weekend at any point. It looks like there's going to be a difficult weekend at every turn.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll be looking forward to the Whitley games away from home, but kind of a home still game for you that little bit. How do you feel going into those Whitley games?
I can't wait, to be fair. Yeah. So just on your point there, although we've got, arguably the strongest or one of the strongest teams in the league, you cannot switch off for a moment.
100%.
I don't know the details exactly, but Dundee lost to Paisley away, and that was the season for them,
I think
right?
it was twice, yeah. I think it was twice they lost them.
Yeah. Right, yeah. So they lost from Greyhead. Yeah.
Yeah. And, we only beat Paisley in overtime twice away, right? So it's one shot between winning the league and finishing second or third or whatever. So you although you feel confident and have a good team, you have to show up every single game. Otherwise, the risk of losing the season is extremely high if you don't show up for those games where you think you might just win easily. And the truth is, we lost to Solway away 1-0 because their goalie stood on his head, right? Truthfully, the top 5 teams, 6 teams, whatever you want to call it, on any day, if you don't come to play, there's an upset to be had.
Yeah.
And so for me, the team that wins the league is the team that's most consistent in their efforts and most consistent on the road to actually win the league and not drop those valuable points, right? Mm-hmm. It's so between whoever you choose to be the top 3 teams, it's so small. So just on that point, first of all, consistency in it. Playing at Whitley, I can't wait though. I think it's going to be unbelievable. Played with these guys for 8 years. And so to play against them is just going to be, so fun. I've got a few of my family members and family and friends who were almost more annoyed that I was not coming back than I was. So I've got a few Dundee jerseys that they want to wear. Which is cool. It'd be interesting to see how the crowd, if they give me a clap or whatever when I come out. I hope they will. I think they will. I got nothing but love for Whitley. It was the best 8 years of my life, and they were awesome, through that whole time. But I absolutely want to score 3, 4, a couple assists, win 7-0. I've got a point to prove a little bit. I think, if you want to get rid of me, then you're gonna have to suffer some consequences when I come back. So that's my mindset. But I can't wait. It's gonna be good.
100%. 100%. I had that same issue when I played basketball all those years ago. I went and signed for Dundee's rivals and played there for 2 years and got grief for 2 years until I went back. And everything was all forgotten. But like what you're saying though, wherever you play, that's your team. As you say, you'll always have that affinity to Whitley Warriors for what they've done, for what the fans have done for you.
Yeah.
But you go back into Whitley, it's not a Whitley jersey you've got on, it's a Dundee Rockets jersey, and it's Dundee Rockets who you want to play for. And as you say, you've got a point to prove. I didn't know that was the reason why you were not signing back for Whitley. That came as a bit of a surprise to me. And I honestly hope that it does backfire for him. I really do.
Yeah. It's easy to get up for games anyway. You want to play as well as you can, but I do tend to play the best when I'm angry or if I've got a chip in my sleeve or whatever. So I'm going to be a handful. I can't wait. It's going to be good.
Let's just hope a certain Mr. Weir doesn't maybe have a couple of things to say about that.
I'll have to tell Jeff to put me on when he's not on. Then I forgot about Cam. He's actually he's probably my best friend from one of my best friends from the team. We spent a lot of time together, and we were out on the ice together on Saturday actually. And he's big and fast for sure. So But he can play against Dennis and John and all them lot. He doesn't need to. He's got their hands full already. He doesn't need to at all.
Yeah. But like as you say, it looks like it's going to be a really exciting SNL season again.
Yeah,
as you say, the team is looking really stacked going forward. Also, Edinburgh do look stacked as well, to be fair, looking at some of the guys that they've signed. But yeah, there'll be some really tasty fixtures in there. It's going to be a really good season. Hopefully, we said it the year before. 2 out of 3 wasn't bad. We were aiming for 3. 2 out of 3 wasn't bad in terms of trophies. Last season, we probably could have had Scottish Cup, could have had the league, but to have all 3 trophies in the first 2 seasons, is fantastic achievement for the organisation. So hopefully this year we are kind of sitting here, like we could be sitting here in the summer and we'll be sitting having an interview with a couple of guys saying, yeah, we did it, we got all 3 this year. But Phil, final words from yourself for the Rockets fans listening in.
Final words. All I can say is that I'm extremely excited to get the season going. Can't wait for that first home game. I want to score as many goals, help the team win as many games as we possibly can. Hopefully see a few Edgar jerseys in the fans by the end of it.
Yeah. Well, senior was close to getting your own and loan if he could not get this. If he could not get the snipers, he was going for yours. But he actually managed to get the snipers, and he was absolutely buzzing about it.
Nice.
Yeah, 14. That's our numbers as well from Basketball Days. So you might see a 14 Edgar top making its way on a view section C. But Phil, listen, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man. We are also cautious of that. Senior is now also a way to go up to Stirling and be the consultant for his major operation again. But honestly though, Phil, thank you for your time. It was much appreciated. We will be back obviously next week for our pre-season for the Dundee Stars and the Elite League. And also we'll give an update on our charity night that is happening on Monday at Don McKelly. But thanks for joining in, folks, and we will see you all next week.